leaving now. Take your time with your cultivation. Inside the room, she couldn't help but feel irritated and angry. Uware cursed the speaker inwardly. He doesn't cultivate every day, but keeps bothering me. It's so annoying. She snorted, by the time you come back, I'll have already gone to find my junior brother. Uware looked at Hanju's puppet and then asked, was it you who said that? She quickly threw her shoes aside and lunged toward the puppet on the bed, her eyes full of affection, shouting, junior brother. Uware tightly hugged the puppet, rubbing her cheek against its cheek, excitedly saying, junior brother, come here quickly. She pinched the puppet's cheek, excitedly saying, just thinking that I might see you soon. I wonder if the spiritual energy in your cave has been enough over the years? Uware gently placed her hands on the puppet, closed her eyes, and softly said, when I return, I'll make sure everything is properly arranged. The round moonlight gently fell into the corner, and the entire space was filled with soft light. The clouds and stars shimmered like the Milky Way, spreading out. A meeting was taking place in the room. A person who seemed somewhat imposing broke the silence of the meeting, saying, the great sage of the Blue Wolf is dead. What do you think? The blood demon ancestor transmitted the information he had gathered. I heard he died in a sect called Jade Clear Sect, belonging to the Great Yen. Strictly speaking, Jade Clear Sect is thriving right now. The person opposite fell silent after hearing this, seemingly lost in thought. Sitting beside them, Chiumo also joined the conversation. The great sage of the Blue Wolf was my master's pet. Telling him to slaughter the human race of the 10 continents and 9 heavens was part of our plan. This grudge must be avenged. Naturally, he couldn't accept that the human race of the 10 continents and 9 heavens still existed. Even though countless people of the 10 continents and 9 heavens had perished, the human race was not yet fully extinct, and we must find a way to deal with it. However, Luohan disagreed. He voiced his opinion. The great sage of the Blue Wolf was too arrogant. With the treasure of the extinction Taoist, he really thought he was invincible. Good riddance. If we want the human race to be wiped out, the demon race alone can't do it. We must make the human race fight among themselves. He spread his arms wide, boldly saying, I suggest we support internal strife among the human race. Mo Gu also thinks this is a good idea, and there's nothing to oppose, so she spoke up, I have no objections. Mo Gu, with her seductive figure, leaned against the back of the chair, speaking in a tone that was as enticing as ever. This way, the blood flow will double, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Her eyes brightened as she turned to the person next to her. You agree, right? What do you think? Qing Jun coldly said, I have no objections. Also, I've been to the underworld recently. The demoness was surprised by what she said. Let me remind you, the demon race is starting to lose patience. Luohan was stunned upon hearing this, and the demon seeker was no exception. Qingjuan's reminder left him speechless. The blood demon ancestor was also put into deep thought by her words. A flash of red light appeared in his eyes, filled with malice and cruelty. Qingjun crossed her legs, revealing a pair of long, fair legs. She slowly spoke, if we fail to complete the mission of reviving the demon race on time, you should all be very clear about the consequences, right? She truly appeared like a master, her aura completely extraordinary. Qingjuan's tone rose, then she made a decision regarding the blood demon ancestor. All right, leave the matter of Yuling sect to me, and the rest to you. The blood demon ancestor sat across from her, seeming somewhat inferior. In her presence, he agreed to the proposal. All right. We've already figured out the situation of the mysterious cultivator from Yuling sect. If he poses a threat to our plan, the demon lord will do everything to eliminate him. Qingjuan's purple eyes sparkled as she prepared for the operation. She replied, I'll set off immediately. 10 years in the mortal realm equals 1 lifetime in the Tao, but cultivation is an endless journey. 5 years passed. In the blink of an eye, and the dazzling light of the 9th layer of the combined body realm enveloped the space. Hanju joyfully shouted, 9th layer of the combined body realm. He looked up at the sky, arms wide open, savoring the results of his hard work after many days of cultivation. Excitedly, he said, "The breakthrough is right in front of me, let's keep going." Hanju's eyes shone with determination and resolve as he slowly said, "Then we must celebrate." Hanju opened the Book of Calamity and saw the names of many senior figures and people he knew. Several names immediately popped into his mind: Vermilion Bird, Mo Yuling, Ju Yen Daoist. He thought to himself, let's send a greeting first. The heavenly Tao Spirit Stone came into contact with the Book of Calamity, instantly emitting a dazzling golden light. After the great battle that year, Hanju finally decided to merge the heavenly Tao Spirit Stone into the Book of Calamity. At that time, Hanju raised his hand, releasing a powerful aura towards the sky. Attack power 3000. Defense power is still a question mark, no one knows, we only know that it's an unparalleled spiritual treasure, the Book of Calamity. He silently thought, with the heavenly Tao, under this boost, the Book of Calamity should be different from before. The curse reaction speed will be faster than before. A notification appeared: your divine pet, the Chaos Sky Dog, has encountered an attack from the demon race. ID 28211. Your friend Zhu Fan has encountered an attack from a demonic cultivator, ID 3779. Your friend Mo Fu, seeking revenge, has encountered an attack from a demonic cultivator, ID 3644. Your friend Zhu Fan has been severely injured, life in danger. Your enemy Mo Yuling's Tao heart was damaged by your curse, encountering a heart demon. Cultivation greatly decreased. Your disciple Su Qi has encountered an attack from the Demon King, severely injured. Your disciple Su Qi has activated her magical powers, and the Demon King is being hunted by a great cultivator. Your partner Hong Quan has received an opportunity and entered a blessed land cave. Hanju stroked his chin and said smugly, Mo Yuling's cultivation has decreased, that's great. That's great. It's a pity that Zhu Ke and Zhu Yen Daoist haven't had any accidents yet. Seeing the message about Hong Quan, your partner Hong Quan has received an opportunity and entered a blessed land cave, he thought to himself, Hong Quan carries the fate I left within her. Her luck has improved recently, I wonder what treasures she'll bring back next. Hanju couldn't help but imagine Hong Quan excitedly immersed in treasures. He couldn't help but sigh. Forget it. I'm not the kind of person who likes to live off a woman. The ground grass crawled onto his shoulder and happily said in a cute voice, Master. Master, have you finished your seclusion? Hanju glanced at the grass on his shoulder and then asked, has anything happened while I was in seclusion? The ground grass quickly answered, yes. This morning, the sect leader was looking for you. Today is the sect leader's 900th birthday banquet, and they wanted to invite you to give a lecture at the inner sect banquet. The ground grass winked at him, I guess you don't want to go, so I directly refused to help you. Her eyes sparkled with pride, aren't I amazing? Hanju held the ground grass in his palm, smiling as he praised her, amazing. Amazing, I really don't want to go out and show my face. Hanju gazed into the distance, feeling that outright refusal wasn't a good solution. It felt a bit inappropriate. He thought it would be better to send a congratulatory message and then take a few people to the inner sect for a stroll. The ground grass was excited when it heard they were going out to have fun. Thank you, Master, that's great. On a tree branch, there was a message paper with an image of a prison rooster on it. The content was a message from Tiandong to Hanju. Master. There is a grand banquet in the sect recently. Since we saw you're still in seclusion, we didn't wait for you. Tiandong. Hanju read the message and felt a bit displeased. His tone carried both reproach and a hint of childishness. These useless disciples, they secretly went to the banquet. I hope they don't run into that shop. As you expected, Tiandong, Chang'an, and the prison rooster stood in front of a shop, sweating profusely. The sign above read Millennial Old Shop. The street was bustling with people, all hurrying along. Hanju, holding the ground grass, blended into the crowd on the street, his eyes scanning the surroundings. It was truly lively. Hanju thought to himself, I wonder if I'll meet any people with extraordinary talents. The ground grass was excited in his arms. Suddenly, the system alarm went off. System reminder. Hanju's eyes lit up, thinking, just as I mentioned Chow Chow, here he comes. Hanju noticed the content on the screen, which showed, Xianqing Army, 8th layer of the Great Ascension Realm, Demon Army ranking. The ground grass's eyes sparkled with excitement, and she exclaimed, wow, that looks so delicious over there. Master, look, those are super powerful bird people. Not hearing a response from him, she called out again, Master. Master. Hanju was deep in thought and didn't notice her words. His gaze fell on the second floor of the building ahead, where a woman was also looking at him. Xianqing Army coldly held a teacup with graceful movements, staring at him. Hanju couldn't help but show his aging face and look back at her. Seeing his unusual attitude, the ground grass asked, Master, what's wrong? Hanju's eyes grew cautious, sweat dripping down, and he trembled as he replied, the master might be dying soon. Xianqing Army elegantly poured tea into her cup, and Hanju had a thought flash through his mind. Why is she here, and not in her mortal form? Could it be she's here to deal with me and Hongquan? Xianqing Army gently raised her teacup, her eyes filled with intense murderous intent. Hanju felt lost, thinking, I've kept everything secret, I shouldn't have been discovered, right? Hanju quickly walked up to her and raised his voice, Miss Xian, long time no see, facing the Xianqing Army. He seemed happy to see her again, his tone filled with warmth. I came from afar and couldn't welcome you properly, please forgive my rudeness. His eyes sparkled like stars. Although he was speaking with her, Hanju silently thought, her mood doesn't seem very good, this is bad. Xianqing Army looked at him expressionlessly. She lifted her hand to support her chin, staring out of the window, sighing. Outside, the prison rooster was surrounded by a group of chefs due to its fat body. Tiandong didn't stop them but instead waved a flag cheering them on, go. Go. Rongqi stared wide-eyed, silently watching. Only Chang'an anxiously shouted, stop, this is Elder Tianshan's pet. The kettle was on the stove, steam rising and filling the air. There were also tea tongs on the table. Xianqing Army really knew her tea. Hanju, and she looked out at the scenery. The ground grass, abandoned in a corner, cried miserably, screaming inside, pretending to be a green tree outside the door. Hanju didn't dare to face her, thinking, it's been so long. She hasn't said a word. He felt like fire. Ants were crawling in his mind, is she waiting for me to confess? She had been observing him all along. Xianqing Army quietly stared at Hanju, her fingers gently pinching the teacup, supporting her chin as she thought, his hair looks oily, he probably didn't wash it during his seclusion. Has it ended? Did he not clean up his aura? No, Hongquan likes cleanliness. After sitting for a long while, Xianqing Army finally spoke, was it you, recently? Hanju didn't let her continue, suddenly slamming the table, Miss Xian, listen to my defense. No. Let me explain. He shouted in panic, it's not what you think. Xianqing Army's eyes brightened, and she revealed a strange smile, no need to explain, what's done is done. Tin Quan's eyes sparkled as she spoke, as expected, you're the man I chose, brave enough to take responsibility. Hanju was speaking, but his tone sounded like he was about to cry, I was wrong. I was wrong. Do what you want, kill me if you wish, I'm with. Tin Quan picked up her teacup, smiling, don't worry. That Qing Tang, if you killed him, then just let it be. I'm here, and no one can touch you. Hanju's mouth dropped open in surprise, huh? What is Qing Tang? So that's what happened. He cursed himself in his mind, damn it. Almost exposed myself. She took a sip of tea, glancing at him with some confusion. Tin Quan then asked, what's wrong? Is there something else? Hanju scratched his head, pretending nothing was wrong, no. Miss Tin Quan, is there something you need to discuss with me this time? Hearing this, Tin Quan stood up, leaned closer to him, and said seriously, you're here to avenge Qing Tang. The great sage, but if it was you who killed him, then it's fine. If others ask, you mustn't admit it. Tin Quan looked down at Hanju, her words growing more severe. As for the real killer, let's just say it was me. Do you understand? Tin Quan cupped his face in her hands, and Hanju stared at her, asking, does Qingtang the great sage have accomplices behind him? She sat on his lap, her hands holding Hanju's face, and then answered his question, this monster has a really big background, but you don't need to worry. I'll stop that person, just focus on your cultivation. Hanju's heart skipped a beat. Oh my god. Taiji Dao Rin still has such deep connections in the mortal realm. Something big is going on. Tin Quan waved her hand, and the table was covered with bottles of medicine. Hanju was greatly surprised. She said, if you've killed Qingtang the great sage, you must have reached the tribulation stage. These are all for the tribulation stage, take them and use them. Hanju looked at the medicine on the table, trembling as he said, that. She noticed something was off and asked, isn't it enough? Hanju lowered his head, pointing to the floor, and whispered, actually, I just reached the 9th layer of the merging stage. Tin Quan's eyes widened in shock, as if she couldn't believe what she had just heard. On the other side, the old millennial shop collapsed due to its weight. Ngukka was confused, and the trio Deng Hui, Truongen, and Thien Ing were helpless in the face of Ngukku's destruction. Thien Dong sighed and said helplessly, this project is really a shoddy job. Tin Quan still sat in Hanju's arms. Seeing her attitude, he felt awkward and spoke with a trembling tone, really, I just reached the 9th layer of the merging stage. Tin Quan lowered her head and said, with just the 8th layer of the merging stage, you could kill Qingtang at the tribulation stage. Hanju, in a panic, tried to explain, I know this is hard to believe, but it really happened like that. Suddenly, the system's warning sound rang, and the system notification appeared. Hanju's eyes widened in surprise. The message displayed, your Dao partner Tin Quan's favorability toward you has increased, current favorability is 5 stars. Tin Quan cupped her face, eyes filled with affection, and her mood softened. Her voice was gentle, I didn't expect you to be such a rare talent. Tin Quan patted his shoulder, her words filled with pride, not bad. You're more suited to be my Dao partner. Tin Quan leaned in close, and before Hanju could react, he stared at her with wide eyes. They were face to face, the light from the window casting an even more ambiguous atmosphere. Tin Quan gently licked the corner of her lips, her movements becoming more alluring. Hanju broke into a cold sweat, his expression a mix of fear. A thought flashed through his mind, I've escaped one disaster, but it seems I haven't completely escaped. She straightened her posture, covered her mouth with her hand, and said something that threw Hanju into a panic, It seems it's still early, I might ruin you. Tin Quan threw him a flirtatious glance, her eyes sparkling as she spoke in an alluring voice, you must work hard on your cultivation, I'll wait for you to mature. Hanju widened his eyes and thought, mature, what is this? Does she think I'm like a little apple in a fruit garden? Tin Quan saw his silly expression, stood up, and walked away, waving her hand, it's boring just to look without eating. I'll go first. He suddenly remembered something, right? Hanju reached for a treasured item he carried with him and said to her, this is the magic treasure left by Qing Meng the Immortal, I think it's not simple, you can take a look. He handed over a small bone segment to Tin Quan, this bone segment is the Ju Yen golden staff. She took the Ju Yen golden staff and said, this treasure is really not simple. I can take it back and let those people believe the real killer is already dead. Hearing this, Hanju scratched his head awkwardly. Tin Quan continued, no matter how the world changes, you just focus on cultivating. He didn't understand the deeper meaning of this sentence. Hanju curiously asked, what? Tin Quan, holding the Ju Yen golden staff, walked toward the window. She looked outside and said, this is my Dao partner. No matter if the heavens collapse or the earth shatters, I can protect you with all my strength. Seeing Tin Quan about to leave, Hanju called out to her, Miss Xian. He was puzzled about what she meant by the heavens and earth turning upside down. Can you tell me what this heavens and earth turning upside down refers to? Also, who is seeking revenge?